60 years of Kenya's foreign policy, we can say there has been some form of continuity and change. Even when my seniors talk about non-alignment at the beginning during Jomo Kenyatta's time, can we call that really non-alignment? Even at home, the way it played. They say, and the Prof used to tell us that during the day, there was that talk, the way you said about Lumumba, he said, we have some leaders here. During the day, they sing the song of non-alignment, or you say we are neither east or west, we are looking forward. And at night, they are aligned. So Jomo Kenyatta was purely pro-west. If you look at that, you can look at even the process of his division with his deputy, Jaramogi. His vice president was closer to the east, and the only thing that Jomo Kenyatta allowed was the construction of a Russian hospital, now Jaramogi Oginga Odinga teaching and referral. Mm-hmm. You look at the Patrice Lumumba Institute of Leadership that had been, constructed by the Russians, the Chinese, the East. How long was it? How long did it take for it to be closed? It required only a call from the West, and it was closed within, 48 hours? The Chinese lecturers we are told they were taken to the airport, deported in sandals. That's how serious it was. So at the beginning, we were actually pro-West as much as we are talking about non-aligned. Then President Moi comes in and tells us that he'll follow the footsteps. And we can thank, actually, in my view, scholars have written, I think Professor Muliro has written something about the trajectory of Kenya's foreign policy, and he calls the period of President Moi as the golden age of Kenya's foreign policy.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it is for this reason that that is the time Kenya actually was on the world map in terms of peace diplomacy. The foreign policy of conflict management was well driven by President Moi. You remember the doctrine of special envoys, Sumbeyo and the rest, and Kalonzo Musyoka, and all over the world. So Kenya became the place to go to, even by the UN, in terms of dealing with regional peace. But then what happened? The West came in. Cold War, as Prof says, the US became the global power. So then it started forcing smaller states, as he says, to follow their ethics. And President Moi, we know very well, you remember all those ambassadors putting pressure on him, multipartyism. So we credit, again, President Moi for initiating the Look East policy that we have now, because he had to survive. So he now moved away from the West and started looking at, the East. We remember his tour to Brunei, Asia Pacific region, and China. So it was survival. Then moving very fast, look at Mwai Kibaki comes in, he swerve. At least for Mwai Kibaki, I can agree with my prof here that Kenya was able to play the politics of pragmatism and, going by what serves you. This is a person who had networks internationally, and he could still fly from Washington and go to Beijing without raising any questions that Moi used to have. And therefore, President Mwai Kibaki, because of his approach towards infrastructural change, leaned towards, actually he concretized the Look East policy. And then President Uhuru comes in, and on his neck we have the ICC cases, and we are told by the West that we'll have only very minimal contact with him. What does he have to do? He has then to survive, isn't it? The Kenya's foreign policy. Then he goes now east. He makes it, actually we can say that the immediate previous regime put the Look East policy, China, at the apex of Kenya's foreign policy. We can see all that there more than any other regimes. And it was actually, again, for survival.